So as many of you know, Gyro's got two ways to access. One's a desktop software that you load, and it's got some great features and functionality. The other is the web-based version, which I currently have on the screen. So we'll flick between the two versions here, and both of them have a site schedule here. So the site schedule here is obviously mirrored in what you see in the site schedule here, and you can see both options refer to this site schedule. So the beauty of a site schedule is it allows you as a supervisor to plan what's coming up. So we call it in the industry call forward. It's simply a call forward sheet that's easy for someone that's not familiar with software to navigate. So it's intentionally relatively basic. It's certainly not Microsoft Project or something like that, and intentionally that way. So let's have a look at what it looks like here on the desktop version. I encourage supervisors that are in the role using this site schedule to do it from the desktop version, because you don't want to be doing this ideally from the ute or in a rushed and busy and difficult environment. You want to do your call forwarding in a planned way at your desk, so you can think and plan for where the job's headed. So the site schedule is down here, and this one's preloaded with 3 jobs. What's important to note here is these jobs will only appear on the supervisor's site schedule when certain key tasks have been filled out in the task list. So the task list appears here on your main job access, and obviously you don't want jobs in the site schedule that aren't ready for commencement. So if you're saying, well, Glenn, I can't see them in the site schedule, it's because the task list needs to be appropriately completed for them to appear in the site schedule. So obviously you don't want to be commencing work on something. And interestingly, I had this conversation with a client this week where he's partway through construction of a renovation project only to find out that there was no DA approval. And so the task list is intentionally there to prevent you commencing something that you really shouldn't be commencing. So you want to know, okay, I've got DA approval and construction certificate approval. I have a contract signed with this client. I have all the variations pre-commencement sorted out, and I have finance. So those key tasks, if they're completed, then the job will appear here in the site schedule. And then naturally, once the job goes through the final payment and completion stages in the task list, that it will disappear from the schedule here. So if I'm call forwarding, it's a simple scenario where I have the name of the jobs down the left-hand side here, and I have the tasks across the top of the page. Now you can see here from site commencement right through to the handover stage, there is tasks for everything. Now this SRLIF is simply slab down, roof on, lock up, internal linings, fix out. The typical progress claim stages for a residential build. So if you want to just quickly get to where you may be on the call forward sheet, then you click on that and find your way there. And obviously you can cursor backwards and forwards. Now, what's very helpful here is if you know that you've completed a task, so it's color coded up here. You can see that everything starts blank, of course, and then you have the different colors. Now the green indicates that the task is finished. So if I had already done the peg out here on this job, I simply right click and mark as delivered. Right click and mark as delivered. I'll move through the task quite quickly to indicate I've completed those tasks. If, on the other hand, I would like to schedule this task, in other words, I know I saw the surveyor recently on another job, and I wanted to book him for a week's time, or I had already booked that surveyor for a week's time. I simply set that future date there by doing that. So just to repeat on that, I've double clicked, I've then hit on the calendar option, and I've identified the future date. And you can see it's turned the task yellow, meaning it's due on this future date. Now, the other nice feature here is the ability to email the person that I want to call forward the task for. Now, the beauty of an email rather than a phone call is A, it's faster, B, it's the person's got it in writing. So if you said, I want you there to do this task on this date at this job address, you can send that out in writing. So to give you an example, if we choose something here that's already got some details in there, like David Woods here at Bunnings, I choose a date where I'd like Bunnings to supply this material, in this case the Portaloo, and I come to a future date and choose one there. I simply press on the email option here. It's going to create an email to David that says, Dear David, please supply the Portaloo on that date to that job address. And I can send that off in my normal and usual email software. So again, a lot faster than the phone calls that might have to be made to achieve that outcome. And then I have the record that that's happened and the future date set. So I'd encourage anyone call forwarding supervision work to use the email feature of this software and call forward your work. So what you want to be seeing is a line of yellow boxes out ahead of where you're currently up to with the job. Now, of course, there's situations where that it doesn't exactly fall in that order, but really it doesn't matter. The majority of tasks need to be done. If in fact you don't need the gravel, for example, on the particular job you're on, doesn't matter. Right click, mark as delivered, and move on. Don't get stuck on the whether a task is meaningful in relation to that particular site. Now, a couple of other things we've said. Very important that the email feature is used, as we've demonstrated. You can also very quickly go back to the job with this link here. So I'm wanting to see that job back here, so I can get hold of maybe some other information that's not readily available, maybe a client contact detail, an attachment, and so on. Then it just brings me back into that job. So very easy to navigate my way back there. The other important feature of what we can see here is the client's visibility of your call forward gives clients a lot of encouragement and reduces, I guess, some of the tension and the interaction around clients wanting to know what's coming next on my job. So Gyro has a client portal, and clients can log in and have visibility around this site schedule. So what the client will see is the web-based version. And again, if we're coming from this location here, we're down here in the My Site Schedule option, and clients will see the tasks rolling out for their own job, of course. So this is exactly the same schedule synced with the software we just saw. Exactly the same software, but in the web-based version. And you can see the green indicating the task complete and the yellow indicating tasks that are due. Now, if I want to know just what I've got coming up, I can click on the to-do tasks, and it will shrink just to show me the to-do tasks, things I've got coming up, scheduled work in relation to this site. Or alternatively, if I go back to rather than just selecting that job, I select all my jobs. I can see all the tasks for all the jobs. So we'll just let that load, see what that looks like. So you can see, rather than selecting an individual job, I can just say what are the to-do tasks for all my jobs here, and I can see what they might be and attend to them. So it's a good way to see what's coming up each day. If you've called forward it effectively, then you know what you need to focus your attention on. Now, what else can happen here? The web-based version doesn't quite have all the features. It doesn't have the feature to email, but it does have the feature to record the details. So if I double click on a tasks option there, again, the menu opens. I can add the details of the contact. I can add the details of when I want the task delivered, and record those and sync it back with my my desktop version. So you can see by identifying that that date, I've achieved the same thing. A future date. If I future date it, and save that, I've now got a future date for that task. So that's our site schedule. Again, just a wrap on that. You've got access from the web-based version. So if you've got your iPad on site and you're thinking, have I scheduled that task or have I communicated that to a certain contractor, you can view that. You can see what's coming up with your to-do tasks. You can always also see the approved variations, which is obviously very important for your supervisors on site. You're generating your variations inside Gyro. You can see those approved variations there with one click of a button. And back in the desktop version, you have similar, of course, identical tasks and jobs, slightly different presentation, but a little more functionality where you're able to email from this location. Interestingly, here you can also record the, as you can the web-based version, the induction training in the safe work method statement, that you have viewed those and recorded them, so that you can manage that environment as well here. Very important that you've got your occupational health and safety records in place. As you all know, expect the best but plan for the worst, and of course that that planning includes your occupational health and safety management. So Madeline and those that have attended us live, any questions you might want to type in there around our site schedule and how that works, please do that now and we'll see if we can help with that. And if there's no questions this afternoon, that's the conclusion of the training on the site schedule. Hope you have a good weekend and we'll talk to you next week. Bye for now, everyone.